Predator hunting is a way of life. In that way of life, there's a lot of different styles to hunt predators. We like to call them in and get them close. Others like to trap them, and that's exactly what we're doing this week. Join us as we run a Nevada trap line in search of a wearied bobcat that fell for the deception of a Nevada trapper. Bring it on, Big Jim, you luscious son of a gun. Last week on the episode, I made a joke. Hey, I'm giving these guys their walking paper, and I'm going to accept some applications here at deaddogwalkin.com. And to my surprise, they started filling in, guys. I'm telling you, they were sending resumes. They were uploading footage to our YouTube account. One family, the Lou family from Illinois, they stood out, and they're good. Jeremy Lou, he's got two sons, Nolan and Nevin, and they are straight up coyote killers. They love it. They have a huge passion for it. And most importantly, they're new to it. That goes to show you that this sport is for anybody and everybody. It doesn't take a whole lot to get into. They started getting into it out there. They love to hunt turkeys and whitetail. Once they called in their first coyote, they were hooked. I've talked to them a couple times since. They love it. You're going to start seeing more of them here at Dead Dog Walkin in season 1 and 2. Thank you guys. We appreciate you getting us the footage. You guys are going to love the Lou family right here from Illinois at Dead Dog Walkin.
Thank you.
topic of predator management, there's so many different styles that people are using these days, and I'm talking hunting them out of airplanes, helicopters, baiting them, calling them to stands like we do regularly here on the Dead Dog Walkin, or with the use of trap lines. And that's what we're doing this week, guys. We're up in Northern Nevada with our buddy Jim. Clay and Alex are out there with them looking for bobcats and coyotes, and you guys, you got to give a ton of respect to these trappers. It's so much more work than people could imagine, and just making the bait, it would literally blow your mind how much work goes into that. And you know, it holds a special place in my heart because that's how I cut my teeth in the in the predator hunting industry. Back when I was 6, 7 years old, I was running trap lines with my father Orville, my uncle Bob Baker, up in the Limbo mountain ranges of Nevada. And I mean, it's an awesome way to make a living. It's cool to do. Check it out, Dead Dog Walkin, running the trap lines, Northern Nevada. Here we go.
Follow us at twitter.com/bandednation.
You know, I can still remember following my dad and Uncle Bob in the mountains, whether there was snow on the ground or it was raining. I mean, you got to check them traps, and just the anticipation that I remember walking up to and wondering what were we going to see. Was there going to be a badger in there, a bobcat, a coyote, a mountain lion? I mean, you never know what you're going to get. And when I found out that Clay and Alex were going to get to go run trap lines with Jim, I'm telling you, I got a little bit jealous of them. But hey, at least they got to go, and it turned into a special day for both of them.
I set these 5 traps up here almost 4 days ago. We have to check every 96 hours. There was some scratches in here, so hopefully this is probably the best set of the day. So hopefully we have something up this canyon.
I'm gonna shoot him. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna watch you guys make fool of yourself.
No. Should be good. Should be good. My first bobcat.
I hope this is your first bobcat.
I got a good feeling it is. I got that weird feeling in my stomach. I think so.
I do too, but it's that I hope there is one. Yeah, it's a little nervous.
Mine's excitement.
It should be exciting. So it's at the base of that mountain there, and I have 5 traps, so we have 5 chances. This little crowd here, it looks pretty natural, but I put this crowd here so that this cat will funnel up against my trap. And they're pretty meticulous about where they put their feet, so they kind of travel the least path of resistance, basically. And they're not afraid to step on whatever it takes. They would rather, you know, follow a wash where they don't have to waste that energy, especially in the winter time. But that's the reason for the crowd, is to funnel them into my trap. Every little thing I can do to catch that cat, I try to do.
You know, I was on the road in Kansas at this time when Clay was filming this episode with Alex, and they had told me that they met this guy Jim, and they were saying how much knowledge he had, and that it was just cool to meet him and hear him lay down all this information about his history and his experiences in the past with trapping, and what his feelings and overall theories were on predator hunting. And it's always cool as a predator hunter to sit down and listen to somebody else and just be a sponge. Take a little bit about what they're saying and apply it to what you're doing, and that's what we've done. You know, we've really sat down and tried to analyze and dissect what Jim talks about, and it works, guys. His style works. He's a very successful trapper, and we appreciate everything he did for us right here at Dead Dog Walkin.
I've been trapping for about 30 years now, probably about 35 years. Probably the best year I had was, it wasn't a peak year for the fur market, but it was a peak year for me. I caught 81 cats. So we have to check our traps every 96 hours. So I have a couple hundred traps out, 225 traps or so out. So it takes a full day to check about 35 or 40 traps. What trapping means to me is now it means income. Probably the scariest moment to me trapping has been trapping at night by myself and maybe have a lion in a trap. That would be a spooky situation. Lions make a living eating horses, so they're a little bit scary. The trapper normally goes in and uses his knowledge to catch the tomcat, the male of the species. Well, when you catch the tom, the female kittens grow up. If you don't catch the tom will go in and kill the two or three kittens, or he'll try, kill the 2 or 3 kittens, because when she has no kittens, she'll rebreed. You can't put too many animals in one spot or they'll kill themselves off. And that pretty much happens with the bobcats, all the predators, even the lions, all of them. What role does the predator play in the life of a deer or an antelope or an elk? Well, when the predator takes the fawns and you're allowed 1,000 tags in an area like the state of Nevada, if there's no fawns, 3 years down the road, you're not going to have any antelope bucks, deer bucks, or does, either one. By the coyote calling contests, the predator hunters, the trappers, all of those guys that are out there doing it, even though they don't know that they're saving a resource, they're saving a resource. They're saving the deer herds, they're saving the antelope herds by taking the coyotes, by taking the bobcats, and by taking the predators. Basically, trapping is the oldest profession. So it's really a vital part of our heritage, actually, to trap and hunt and fish and keep those resources open especially for our young people coming up. When I set a trap and I come home and I'm mid-season, 30 days into the season, I cannot wait to get up in the morning. I won't even eat breakfast. I'll just get up, eat it, maybe on the way there, because I'm so excited about what's going to happen. It's awesome. You know, I would do it if I didn't get paid. That's basically, I would go out and I would trap and spend the money to trap all year long if I did not get paid. So I love it.
Become a fan at facebook.com/bandednation.
The reason I set this trap here is this cat's scratched, number one, and to me that's pretty much a mark of his turf, and he's been here twice. Or it's 2 different cats, a small one and a larger one. So that's the reason for my set here.
So as we're heading up these creek beds and washes and into these rock outcrops and stuff, Jim's pointing out bobcat sign all the way up. And I mean, these are areas I've been around my whole life. I've been hunting chukar and quail in these hills forever. Never really thought about it. So I'm asking Jim, is this how they mark their territory? Is this, you know, where they go to the bathroom? What is this? And he says, no, this is their turf. This is where they hang out. This is them telling another cat, this is my rock pile.
If it's a older tomcat and he's a little bit more bold, his ground is a little bigger. He might be back in a week. And then it goes along with what their prey. If there's a lot of prey, they'll probably stick closer to where they're marking their turf. If there's not a lot of prey, like in a mountain like this, they might range further, so it takes them longer to get back here. Given enough time, I'll catch this cat. One of the reasons that we use the tractors, Dennis and I, is that mostly the cats usually travel dusk and dawn. I think it's a kind of a myth that they travel all night long. But dusk and dawn is just as the sun's going down or the moon's coming up. And you get, you know, their best thing is vision. So we put them usually in a spot like this where somebody else isn't going to see them. If somebody else sees them, they're going to come and investigate them. If they have dogs, we could possibly catch a dog. Although if we do, all I have to do is release the dog. It doesn't hurt the dog. That's a myth that it breaks their legs. It doesn't really do that.
So, hiking the hills in Nevada like I've done my whole life, I always used to see these rocks covered in tinfoil, and then they'd have baling wire wrapped around them and hooked up to another rock above it. And I used to ask my dad, what is that? My dad said, well, that's a trapper's way of making a cat come over here. It reflects off the light. So that's the old school way. Apparently Jim just breaks his Bon Jovi CDs up and ties them to strings now, and it does the same thing.
Unfortunately, there's nothing in that trap. I can see it, that it's tripped. It's in its still in its crowd. So by it being in its crowd, I didn't have it for very long. I just missed it. I just missed him. A lot of the older time trappers do this. They cover them, so you don't really see the trap. It might not be that high. Maybe lower than that. We don't do that because if it rains or snows and gets cold, it won't work, it freezes.
See, I always thought that these trappers used to cover these traps up because I figured if a coyote can see us sitting in a stand if we don't have a face mask on, how can they not see this white trap sitting right on top of the dirt? But Jim explains that that's not the case. They clear a little path, set it down inside there, and then they just cover the plate up with dirt. If you bury the trap and you get any kind of moisture or anything in the air, it'll actually freeze those traps, and then they won't go off and things will step on them and you just miss them. So they're actually sitting right up on top for everybody to see.
This is probably a cat walking through here. The reason I'm saying that is he's walking in a pretty straight line, and a cat, 3 steps is the length of his body, like a coyote. So this animal's this big. So I'm guessing this is a bobcat, even though you can't really make out his tracks very good.
One of the best tips that I picked up from Jim, and something that we can actually use and used after that date, was the way you look at their prints. And if you put your hand on the back of a print and then you go a print in the middle and a print up front and you put it on the toes of that one, that'll show you how long the animal is that you're following. And we do it now for coyotes. If we walk into a stand and see them, we'll kind of guesstimate, how big it is. Is that going to be a big male? And I mean, it's not spot on, but it's kind of a cool thing to do when you're walking into a stand. Okay, so not to say the excitement level had dropped off or anything, but we had been up for like 12 hours and driven several hundred miles and not seen a single cat. We come around this corner and all of a sudden there's a huge tomcat right in front of me, 5 feet. I'm freaking out. I don't know if I should pull the gun out. I don't know if I should get closer, back up. I'm looking at Jim. I'm looking at Dennis. I'm looking at Clay. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out.
Become a fan at facebook.com/bandednation.
You're not gonna come at me?
Well, yeah, watch it. You'll be able to. When he's ready to come at you, he'll go like this.
I'm freaking shaking. So just shoot him in the chest?
Shoot him in the chest.
Are you sure this is gonna fire?
Yeah.
Are you good, Clay?
Okay, go ahead and move up. Yeah. Go ahead and move up.
No more reason.
Is that good?
That looks good. Right in his head.
I am aiming at his head.
Hit him in the chest. Take him in the chest.
That's a big tomcat. That's a nice tomcat.
So I am pumped, just freaking out. Just got my first bobcat. Didn't even know what to do. I mean, I stood there like a statue for a minute, just kind of taking it all in. My heart was going so fast, and we had joked around all day about not being able to hit these cats from 4 feet. Even Jim said he misses a few of them here and there. But I mean, your heart's going so fast, and you're next to an animal that could shred your leg if it wants to. And I missed. I hit it in the ear the first one. Second one, I made a good shot. Didn't hurt the pelt, which is pretty much the goal of the whole thing. Jim sells these things for a living. You screw up the pelt, that's a waste of a line, waste of a day, waste of a cat, and it's a lot of pressure to have on you, you know, for your first cat, and on top of it, it's being filmed. So once I calmed down, you know, I kind of took it all in, and it was just an unbelievable experience. You know, if trapping and catching these animals wasn't hard enough, the job's not even done yet. Check out Jim as he goes to work with his Kershaw knife, skinning this cat out and getting it ready for the fur trade.
We've been lucky enough to meet a lot of cool predator hunters across the country over the past few years, and Jim's no different. You know, most of them are like me. They're like Clay. We like to get in a stand, use that mouth call, use that echo e-collar, and see them charging coyotes, see them charging bobcats. And it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, but so does the anticipation of walking up on one of these traps, guys. And just knowing all the work that Jim puts into these traps and all the knowledge that he's gained over the last few years, I mean, it really intrigues me. I'm a ton of respect for Jim and all the other trappers across the country. Guys, check it out. I mean, there's so many different applications of killing these predators, and put yourself in that predator shoes. What's he thinking when he's going up to that trap? Obviously, he's got no idea that he's about to get caught in a trap, but that's part of it, guys. There's different techniques to take care of predator management. The conservation part of this, saving those mule deer, saving those antelope, saving that livestock, it all plays its part. Guys, I get it. This was a different kind of episode, but I'm telling you, there's so many different applications of hunting. Get out there and try new ones. Be a sponge. Learn them all. Hope you enjoyed that. We love you being here. Thank you for the support. Check out deaddogwalkin.com. We'll see you back here next week.